This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Finding the parents of bullies. I'm Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny with why this group says Indiana law needs more teeth.
Two schools, two teachers fighting the same issue. I'm Cameron Riddle. Tonight, we take a closer look at the controversial issue that left one teacher working and the other out of a job.
Escaping genocide and finding a home in Indianapolis. I'm Stephanie Wade, and we highlight one group helping folks right here in Indy.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino. Parents and bus drivers say Indiana needs to do a better job at protecting children from bullying, and they say that means a change to Indiana law.
Now, one idea they're considering, punishing the parents of bullies. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny has been tracking this problem for years and joins us now with a new plan in the works.
Much like this pizza, parents say that Indiana's bullying law is not fully cooked. They're meeting today to change that. Mom and anti-bullying crusader Angie Staggy has had enough.
I have watched 3 families bury their children this year due to bullying.
Staggy helped pass Indiana's anti-bullying law back in 2013. That's her behind then-Governor Mike Pence.
We needed a stronger law.
Like if there's no physical involvement.
Staggy gathered parents and a former bus driver at Passion Pizza to talk about how the state can better address bullying. One idea, fining parents of bullies up to $500. Staggy emphasizes the fine comes after the bully's third offense, and any parent who can't pay could opt for community service.
We need to have these parents more accountable, because if they're not doing their part at home, how do they expect the schools to do their part?
In 2017, Call 6 Investigates found 60% of schools reported zero bullying. That story led to a new state law that requires the state send out annual reminders about their duty to report and do a survey to find out why schools aren't reporting accurately. The survey found less than half of schools believe their numbers are accurate. This group is looking at how to change the state's definition of bullying to incorporate more of the fights and peer conflicts that are currently being left out of the numbers.
I really want to see things change in the school districts. I don't think that the bullying law that we have now is, I guess, strict enough.
Other changes could include holding required training for students on the impact of social media and suicide prevention, a new cyberbullying law that would carry time behind bars, as well as requiring parents to sign their school's anti-bullying policy when registering their child for school.
Half of every parent that I talk to that their child is getting bullied doesn't even know there's an anti-bullying law, and that really saddens me.
This group will now take their recommendations to state lawmakers in the hopes of drafting legislation for the 2020 session. In Fishers, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Now, several other cities and states are also considering fining the parents of bullies, including New York, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Indiana could face opposition from some who say fining parents of bullies is not constitutional and will not stop the problem.
It is now the third time an Indianapolis Catholic school has made headlines surrounding the employment of a teacher in a same-sex marriage.
Now, all 3 schools have approached this issue in a different way. This time around, it's been a bit confusing.
Working for you, RTV6's Cameron Riddle looks at why Cathedral decided to fire a teacher and why Brebeuf didn't when both Catholic schools employed a teacher in a gay marriage.
It's the tale of 2 schools, Brebeuf and Cathedral, dealing with very similar situations but making extremely different decisions. The question left on the minds of many is why those decisions are polar opposites. Last week, Brebeuf Jesuit Preparatory School lost its official status as a Catholic school after refusing the demands of the Indianapolis Archbishop to fire a teacher in a same-sex marriage. Across town, Cathedral High School decided to separate from a teacher in a same-sex marriage, bowing to the pressure from the same Catholic leader. So how could those decisions be so different? Kurt Nelson, the director of Catholic school programs at Marian University, says basically it's about who runs the school.
A lot of people see the Catholic Church and see it as very monolithic and kind of hierarchical, but they don't realize is in the world of Catholic schools, there are lots of different types of governance and ways that Catholic schools are operated.
Brebeuf is sponsored and run by the Midwest Jesuits, who provide funding and resources for the school, leaving little for the school to lean on the Catholic Church for. But for Cathedral, it's a different story. The 101-year-old school is affiliated with Holy Cross Brothers, but is in independently run and depends on the Catholic Church to keep its nonprofit status. Without the Catholic Church, the school's funding future would be uncertain.
Cathedral School that doesn't have that isn't part of another network. So if they don't keep their Catholic identity through the Archbishop, they're not a Catholic organization, and therefore they would lose their tax-exempt status.
George Payton is a Cathedral alumnus who knows the teacher involved. He says the headline surrounding his alma mater is not one he's proud of.
When I first saw them, I was not proud at all. I was quite upset.
Payton says while he understands administrators were put in a tight spot, he believes the Catholic school isn't practicing what it preaches.
At Cathedral, I was told and taught to have the competency to see and the courage to act in situations where there's a lot of things involved, and I would have taken it in a different direction.
Payton says the school's latest decision on same-sex marriage leaves the alumni community wondering how the school and the Archdiocese will enforce the Catholic Church's other morality positions on birth control and divorce. In Indianapolis, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Thank you, Cameron, for that. And the Midwest Jesuits, which supports Brebeuf, says it will appeal the Archbishop's decision to revoke the school's official Catholic status and will take that appeal all the way to the Pope if necessary.
Right now, we want to head over to a first look at your forecast tonight.
Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory can tell us more. We're seeing some sunshine out there, Kevin.
Some sunshine and a couple of downpours. One of those sits just west of Indianapolis, and there it is, towards Speedway, Eagle Creek, and also Brownsburg. These are fading a little bit as they move into Marion County. Another right near the airport in Plainfield. Just south of Spencer, nice downpour. That'll move towards Steinsville and Ellettsville in Monroe County, and then just south of Bloomfield in southern portions of Greene County. Big picture, very isolated. They'll continue to stay that way, but we're not quite done. We'll inherit some more isolated thunderstorms from Illinois this evening. 75 is the temperature in Indianapolis. Other areas pushing 80 degrees in Muncie and Lafayette. First pitch at Victory Field at 7:05. Between 9 and 11, still isolated thunderstorms. 11 to 1 a.m. Bye-bye. They move to the east. Our temperatures will be slow to change this evening. Aside from a downpour, should be dry and 69 at 11 o'clock tonight. Temperatures in the morning, upper 60s, lunchtime temperature with partly to mostly sunny skies at 78. The high temperature tomorrow, 83. That will be comfortable compared to where we'll be by the end of the week. I'll detail that for you coming up.
South Bend will start cleaning up after reports of at least one tornado touching down in the city. This was the scene just before 9 o'clock last night on the southeast side of South Bend. This video was sent to us by Tom Shaw. Authorities say a daycare facility suffered major damage in the storm. Nobody was injured in the storm, and damage was also reported in nearby Mishawaka.
And this is Growing Kids Learning Center on Ireland Road in South Bend, a daycare that was significantly damaged. The National Weather Service says the tornado rated an EF2, and forecasters believe it had maximum winds of between 115 and 125 miles an hour. A man caught on video trying to set fire to several Southside homes is still at large tonight, and it's a problem RTV6 first told you about Sunday evening. This happened in the 1600 block of Lawrence Avenue this weekend. We talked to a family who says a car in their driveway was destroyed by fire. A man in the video also tried to set their home on fire. Indy Metro Police say they chased a man they believed was the arsonist, but did not catch him. If you know anything, we have a number for you to call in this story on the RTV6 app. Escaping genocide and finding a home right here in Indianapolis.
Only on RTV6, our Stephanie Wade shows you an organization that is helping local refugees thrive through forgiveness.
Dancing, music, and lots of laughter.
Our organization is like a family. You know, they don't call me case worker, whatever. They call me Z.
The Peace Center for Forgiveness and Reconciliation is just what it sounds like.
They come from Congo, Burundi, and Rwanda, and some of them come from Ethiopia.
A group whose mission is to help victims of genocide and murder in their home country grapple with the aftermath here in Indianapolis.
They don't have a country right now. Their country, Congo, is still in a shambles. They're still fighting.
The founder, Kizito Kalima, is a genocide survivor himself. He escaped Rwanda when he was 14 years old after his parents and other family members were murdered.
I forgave those who killed my parents, those who almost killed who chopped my hair off, those who abused my sisters, my cousins, and it gave me a chance to move on.
He says on top of psychological trauma, mental health issues, and of course, culture shock, moving to a new country.
You don't know where to go, you don't know who to talk to because you can't communicate.
I'm a refugee, you know, and my dad was like, I want you to go to school. I brought you here to go to school.
Ajulu Tata came to America when she was 12 years old.
Even my mother, she's in Africa. I live with my stepmom and my dad. I had to leave them too because it was like the right choice to make.
In part because of Z's mentorship, she's earned herself a basketball scholarship to play at Southern Illinois University next year.
Hello?
Just one family he's helped.
Ooh, I lost count.
Connects them with jobs, housing, makes sure they pay bills on time, and navigate the American system. Without your help, what would happen?
Eviction. It has happened many times. Life being cut off, kids being taken away.
An emotional and life-changing resource countless families rely on. Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And the organization is always looking for volunteers and partnerships in the community. You can find out more about them on our website at theindychannel.com.
Coming up here on RTV6 News at 6, the medical device industry only continues to expand.
And so does one company making products to help people with heart disease and diabetes. The employees PTS Diagnostics is looking for and the impact the company is making across the globe.
Plus, this week, we're getting ready to say goodbye to an RTV6 legend. Still ahead, a look back at one of Derek Thomas's most unforgettable stories.
And right now, you are getting a live look outside from our camera up on top of the Salesforce Tower in downtown Indy, looking to the northwest. It's 6:11 and shaping up to be a pretty evening. You're watching RTV6. We'll be right back.
Up for only $89. On time.
Welcome back to RTV6 News at 6. Hiring Hoosiers is our initiative from RTV6 that works to connect you to jobs, resources, training, and education. The medical device industry continues to expand, and one company right here in central Indiana is looking for you to grow with them. Founded in Indianapolis in 1992, PTS Diagnostics has seen dramatic growth since, so much so they opened a brand new facility in Whitestown recently. They make devices that help people manage diabetes and heart disease. Therefore, they're making a global impact, and they need people with all different types of backgrounds to make those products.
Because we do so many different things here, we have a number of different positions open at a given time. Typically, we have a high demand for people with engineering backgrounds, software code writers, if you will, chemistry majors, and then moving into the commercial side, you know, we need marketing people and sales people, finance and accounting people, clerical support. We have many hourly positions and assembly line positions that open up. So it's really the whole gamut of different disciplines that we recruit for.
Lots of options there, and there are a number of openings at PTS Diagnostics right now. We put a link to where you can apply at hiringhoosiers.com.
It's a celebration and commitment to excellence in journalism.
On Friday, our colleague Derek Thomas is signing off from RTV6 after more than 40 years of sharing his gift of storytelling with all of you in central Indiana.
So this week, we want to share a few of his many memorable stories.
We begin with his tribute to his deceased father in this story from June 17th, 1979.
Although it has only been officially celebrated on the third Sunday in June since 1972, Father's Day has not escaped the commercial hoopla that has infected almost all the holidays that we know, love, and pay for. But this year, I would not succumb. This year, I would write a personal letter of thanks. The memories we share are many. It seems like just a few years ago when we went to sports events together. They just aren't the same anymore. I miss your companionship and expert analysis of the games. You were always there to put me back on the right track when I was confused and conflicting ideas were whirling around in my head at a carnival ride pace. You really take the cake when it comes to award-winning achievements in the role of father. The unfortunate part of this day is that I won't be able to take you out to dinner at some swank restaurant for a 4-star meal. Instead, I'll eat alone at a fast food emporium, thinking about how things should be. It is really difficult for me to describe you or thank you because you are really out of this world. Thanks for everything. Derek Thomas for the news. Channel 6.
Derek came to Indianapolis from a job in Minneapolis in 1979, and the Indy sports fan will file his last report this Friday.
And tomorrow, we'll take you back to an encounter that Derek had with a Hoosier superstar. That's coming up tomorrow.
And I'll say this, every time we walk through the newsroom, I just walk a little slower so I can stare at him a little longer.
I'm going to grab him by the feet and not let him go.
Yeah.
He'll be in the studio Friday for his personal goodbye, so catch that. That's at 6. All right, as far as what's happening in central Indiana today, temperatures fairly comfortable. By the end of the week, humidity up, temperatures pushing 90. We have not been there so far in 2019, but we'll knock on the door Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday. Above average for this time of year. Some specific numbers for you. 83 tomorrow. We step it up a little bit Wednesday. Slight chance of a thunderstorm there. Then dry as we get to Thursday and Friday, pushing our chances of getting to 90 a little higher. Fading area of rain. You can see it from Brownsburg to Speedway and Eagle Creek Reservoir. It will cut through the northern portion of Marion County. Also between Spencer and Bloomington, that may clip Ellettsville, and just south of Bloomfield, some rain. There are other showers and thunderstorms dotting the landscape in eastern Illinois. We'll keep our chance for a shower around. This is what it looks like just looking to the northwest from downtown. Right in here, the big fuzzy spot there is where you're getting a heavy downpour as the rain moves into the Indy metro area. Almost 80 in Lafayette and Terre Haute. Other temperatures middle to upper 70s. We'll cool down a few degrees with the shower moving through Marion County. Tomorrow, it's about more sunshine and dry conditions, partly to mostly sunny. Temperatures in the low 80s through the day. Nice breeze, west 10 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures a little cooler to the north. The humidity is still very comfortable tomorrow. Temperatures push the mid 80s, Bedford, Seymour, Bloomington, and Columbus. 83 or so in the metro area. Wednesday, although our temperatures are coming up and rain chances overall are going down, we'll have a slight chance of thunderstorms Wednesday. Temperatures mid 80s, a little warmer to the south in that 4 to 7 o'clock window. You can see the chance for the thunderstorms, especially south of Indy. Thursday, Friday, even through the weekend. Temperatures in the upper 80s, rain chances no more than about 20% each day. That's the kind of 7-day we've been looking for a while.
Here it is.
Yes.
Good to see you. Thanks, Kevin, for that.
Well, Brad Brown joins us live, and what a race yesterday, Brad.
Quite the deal for IndyCar up in Wisconsin, Amanda. Indeed, and good evening, everyone. Alexander Rossi spent plenty of time in second place this season. He finished second in the Indy 500. In fact, runner-up in 3 of the 4 races leading up to this weekend. But yesterday, he looked every bit like the best car and driver in the entire series. Rossi started second at Road America. Took him all of 1 turn and 1 straightaway to take the lead as he passed Colton Herta. But after that, one of the most dominant performances in recent years as Rossi finished a full 28 seconds ahead of everyone. It's his second race win of the season, and it pulled him even closer to the points lead. Our Dave First caught up with Rossi in victory lane.
You've had a funny spring. You got the win, obviously, at Long Beach, but then you come back, a bunch of second-place finishes, which are great and everything, but it doesn't help the points championship. Now this certainly does that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't want to ever complain about second places too much, but the thing that was hurting was the guys we were chasing the championship were the ones beating us. So we needed to beat them and beat them in a strong fashion, and it's really cool we were able to do that today.
Joseph Newgarden was 3rd place on Sunday, so he is still on top of the point standings, but there's Rossi now just 7 markers behind. Those 2 have separated themselves from the rest of the pack, but look at the 4 former Indy 500 champions behind them. How about that? A couple weeks off for IndyCar. Their next race is July 14th in Toronto. How about the Fever? They lost in Seattle last night, 65-61, but it turns out that the trip home was far more difficult than the game. Several players giving these updates on social media, including Natalie Achanwa. Their flight out of Seattle had mechanical issues. They finally got boarded around 1 a.m. A layover in Atlanta this morning, but all the flights to Indy were booked, so they got a bus. Well, they had to switch drivers partway because they'd been on the road too long. The bus had mechanical issues. They finally got rolling back again, but they are still on the road. They won't be back in Indy until around 8 o'clock tonight. That's about 14 hours later than they had hoped. They got a home game tomorrow night. The Fever host Minnesota, 7 o'clock tip at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Hopefully they get a nap between now and then. We'll be live tomorrow over there for the news at 6. Big day in Boston as they introduce this year's draft picks, including Romeo Langford and Carson Edwards, the former IU and Purdue rivals. Teammates now. Edwards getting number 29. Langford will wear 45. Keep in mind the Celtics have retired 22 jersey numbers over the decades, so the options are a bit limited for guards, hence the high numbers. Taking Ward Central High School over the weekend, former Warrior football player and current San Francisco 49er Sheldon Day hosting his annual football camp. More than 180 kids on the field. It was all free, teaching football skills and life skills. Says Day giving back in a big way on his hometown field.
My slogan is grind in the dark so you can shine in the light. So whether that's the library, whether that's athletics, I'll put all that work in behind the scenes so that when the time or the stage presents itself that you can shine. So I'm all about hard work, dedication, making sure everybody knows that I'm putting the work in behind the scenes.
More tonight on Sports Extra Spotlight at 11. Kevin mentioned the Indians game. They open a 4-game homestand tonight at 7. More from the Tribe later in the week. More of the news at 6 after one more break.
And you're looking north at the downpour in the northern portion of Marion County, just north of downtown. The sun comes out fairly quickly after that. As far as the rest of central Indiana tonight, the chance for showers will be minimal. I think just isolated downpours like the one there between Indy and Carmel.
All right. Up next here is World News with David Muir.
And we'll see you at 7.